So I was recently looking for as much drum MIDI as possible for a project that I've got coming up. And I was digging through some old hard drives to see what I had over the years, just in terms of Cubase projects with programmed drums. Dug out some old demos from the Edge of the Earth days, found this one of Dystopia, and just figured revamp it a bit, just, you know, do a mix myself. This is with programmed drums, obviously. Update the guitar tone. The guitars were recorded back in 2009 when I wrote the song, demoing it. The guitars are my MW600 guitar. And back in the day, I used to use quite a primitive amp sim called Revamped, made by Peavey. And admittedly, I didn't know what I was doing then. So maybe it was just the tones that I was dialing in, but it didn't sound too good. So anyway, I've still got all the DIs, still got all the MIDI, and loads of the audio from the original demo, some of which made it onto the final record. And yeah, figured just sort of dive in, check out some of the stuff that's in the song, and kind of, like I said, revamp the guitar tone, different drums. Obviously, as I said, these are just programmed. And I think I've reprogrammed the bass here using a MIDI bass plugin as well. So this is the original demo version of Dystopia. The working title when it was a demo was Distorticus Maximus or something. I haven't gone to try and match the conclusion tone for this one. I figured I'd just kind of revamp it and just mess around with the drum MIDI, to be honest. That was the main thing for me. Or maybe not the drum MIDI, but the drum sounds. So yeah, got this intro, which ended up being on the album. I ended up doing that obviously in a different Cubase project. Same with the outro. I guess like back in the day when I was using my old laptop to write and record on, I guess the specs weren't too good in terms of CPU and having this intro with layered up acoustic guitars and various other sounds on the intro. So I think I would do that in its own project, export that as its own mix down, and then import it into this this session. So these samples, this one I've used loads. And it's not a bomb. This is actually a sample I created with a bunch of guitars with a dive bomb. Just doing a dive bomb with a bunch of delay on it and just lay it up. And I don't know how it's got that sort of attack to it at the start, but it is just guitars. And that sample has made its way onto every record, probably every song we've ever done. Not every song, but yeah, I've just got a collection of samples I use and my subdrops and everything. So yeah, anyway, got programmed drums here. Again, for this one, you know, back in specifically on Conclusion of an Age and Edge of the Earth, I was really annoying to be in a band with when it came to Rob and his drumming. I'd just be play this exactly as it is on the demo, and there wasn't admittedly as much room for him to kind of bring in his own creativity. He definitely did bring in some amazing stuff that he wrote, and he came up with all these really cool drum parts. I really like, just off the top of my head, the outro to Eclipsed, that kind of drum beat. There's all kinds of stuff he did come up with, but there are a lot of instances where I was can you just play it exactly as it is on the demo? And sometimes in instances like this song is 220 BPM, and his feet are really solid. We used to play this song live as well. We didn't play it to a click, so who knows if the tempo was fluctuating, but he nailed this in the studio for these fast double pedal kicks, especially under this solo. So yeah, this is obviously the demo, and a lot of this stuff ended up sounding the same. I definitely re-recorded the solo for most of the Edge of the Earth stuff. I'm at a point now where when I'm demoing stuff, I'll try and track everything to a standard where it's good enough to put on the record, so I don't have to just re-record everything that I've already recorded in the demo, and keep the DI tracks and that kind of thing. For this, it's just a no DI, and the tone from the plugin I was using, the amp sim Peavey Revalver, was not too great. obviously that's the Michael Wilton, and that's the neck pickup single coil, I think, at the start. Yeah, I really like the sound of single coils in the neck pickup for leads, obviously. And then let's check out some of these bits. These are the ambient guitars. Again, I guess I would have done these. Maybe I did them in the same session as this song, exported them all, and then just deleted them and just kept the big file of these ambient guitars here. So there's a quiet version amongst all the other guitars that's laid up here. There's a quiet version of the guitar solo in amongst the ambience. And again, these tracks would have made it onto the album. Again, this is just the demo solo. Ended up playing it exactly the same on the record, but this isn't the final take or final tone. Some of the original DIs there. What's this? Oh, that's in the wrong place. That's in under this section. I often call guitars laid up like this, playing harmonies and harmonizing with each other, Metallicas, because I learned about like harmonizing guitars from listening to Injustice for All. And as soon as I learned like, oh, it's like harmonizing in major thirds, I did it all the time. And I just like, if I put all the guitars in a group, like these are all sent to epic notes. So these guitars are in this guitar group. I would always like just name the group Metallicas. So these are all panned central. They shouldn't be. Oh no, they're not. Yeah, so they're all panned left and right. So I've got two of the same. Like sometimes there'll be 60, sometimes 50%, sometimes hard panned, and sometimes I mix up the panning for this sort of stuff. Then I think that'll be like a high octave in the middle. No, actually, it's just another octave, just in mono. So yeah. Call these guitars Sepultura guitars, I guess. Oh, they're not in a group. This is just how they sound. Obviously, this song is like heavily influenced by a lot of stuff on Arise, so I think that's why it says Sepul there. I programmed the bass recently to do just because the bass I had from the original demo was awful. Don't know what bass I had borrowed just to record with, but it sounded bad. So what am I using? Nocturnal bass maybe. Cool, yeah, so basically pretty much most of this one sounds as it does in the final recording. I mean, I re-recorded most of these guitars But little bits like this. That'll be, so these files would have made their way into the final album. And they are the next section, so this bit. That's too loud, so apologies. They're those guitars turned backwards with a really long reverb on them, and then you just flip them back, and I just use that reverb to ramp in to the lead. So yeah, the pre-reverb is from the demo, but I think I re-recorded the actual lead in the studio. Back then I just assumed I needed to re-record everything, and then I since learned that I could just record stuff well enough when I'm demoing to import it into the final record. But we'll always, you know, do like rhythm guitar tracking properly for the record all in one go, because when you're demoing, things change, like the level of my DI, or, you know, if I'm writing, like my strings might not be that fresh, but sometimes if a guitar's sounding all right and the strings are okay and I can record a solo and it sounds good, I'll just use the solo from the demo. So yeah, not too much different in this one. Just wanted to kind of have a mess around and revisit the original demo and see how it was. And yeah, like I said, pretty similar to how it ended up on the record.